Once upon a time, two retired teachers decided to convert their garage into a pottery studio. Along with their daughter and son, they built a business around the idea that the world could use a little more art and a lot more artists. We're the Kaya family. Welcome to Walkie Pots. Hi everybody, how you doing? How you been? How are things? Shane and Diane here at Walkie Pot Studio for a kiln opening. It is Friday, June the 20th, and happy summer solstice for those of you in the northern hemisphere. Happy winter solstice for those of you in the southern hemisphere. And I'm looking forward to spending the longest day of the year here in the studio.
Yes.
Now, we're going to do the kiln opening.
The sunshine is pouring in the window now.
It certainly is. We're going to do the same format that we did before, and hopefully you guys are going to like it. Are you ready to crack it open?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right, here we go. Yeah. Look at that good stuff right on top.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
exciting.
Awesome. Okay,
Woo!
let me stop the video and we'll pick it back up.
Yes, so you
Over
can
there.
get really good close-ups.
Right. Okay, everybody, here we are. We're back, and now we're going to show you some close-ups, and we're going to start with the ornaments that we made specifically for the Chincoteague market this year.
Yes, and the last time we had these ornaments, they were on the Sheltoe clay, so they were dark and wasn't too happy with them.
We weren't thrilled with them
Yes.
on the brown clay.
So now we have them on the Iceman clay, and I'm just going to go through and say which color is on each one of these. The way I did these was I covered the whole thing with the color. I then wiped it back. So let me pick this one up, for example. I wiped it back, and then after it was dry, I clear coated it with Mako zinc-free clear. Okay, so this one is Lustrous Jade by Amico. This one is Rainforest by Amico. This one is Powdered Turquoise by Laguna.
Gotta say, that's one of my favorites.
I know, it really is. Mine too. This one is Snapdragon by Amico. Bougainvillea from Spectrum. Obsidian from Amico. Deep Sea from Amico. Indigo Float from Amico. And Mulberry from Amico.
I like that purple and the mulberry.
I do. I like that one
very
too.
Very close to our Walkie Pots purple.
Yes, so those were really fun. I'll let you go ahead and talk about the next one while I get these out of the way.
Sure. All right, so this is one of my wheel thrown mugs on Sheltoe Brown, and it's just blue surf. And I gotta say, I love this glaze. Aside from Powdered Turquoise, it's probably my favorite glaze. I love how it turns out on our Sheltoe Brown clay. And do remember that we haven't cleaned up the bottoms yet. I'll take a little piece of sandpaper, and this will all be perfectly smooth when we take it to the market. You're going to see some of it. This is just the kiln wash from our shelves. But this is Blue Surf, fired at cone 6 on Sheltoe Brown. Nice. All right, I guess since we're talking about Blue Surf, I may as well show you this. This is Blue Surf on the right-hand side with sandstone and light flux. Is it light flux, Diana?
It is light flux, yes.
And this is on our Iceman clay from Kentucky Mudworks. Very, very nice. Love it. That's going to be a pretty show.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let me put these next pieces out here. I did this combo on several pieces because last time it was one of your favorites that came out.
It still is one of my favorites. I love it.
It is gorgeous. The combination for this on the inside of the mug is Amico Snow. And then on the outside, I have a band of Rainforest. I did 3 coats of that from Amico. This is Mako's new one. It is Green Jasper.
I love it. And you have that on the bowl in that little dish. We're going to talk about this cup again in just a second, but let's show the others first.
Yes, so here's a close-up of the bowl and the outside of the bowl.
That is beautiful.
And I do this one all on the white clay, the Iceman, because the green jasper is translucent and it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't look as good on darker clays.
And then the little trinket dish here
Yes.
As well. And again, that's just the kiln wash at the bottom of this that will come right off.
It looked like VP instead of WP.
Right. Now, here's what we have to talk about with the cup, though. Because as much as we love this mug, very, very sad circumstance, the glaze did not cover everywhere. So what we have here is a little bit of a flaw, and that's not going to go to our market table. As much as we love it, that's not as beautiful as it is otherwise. That little flaw keeps us from being able to sell it at normal price on the table.
Yes.
So it won't be doing that.
No, but this will be a nice decorative bowl on the table tomorrow, and a nice trinket dish. So
Nice.
thing.
You want to talk about these guys next?
Oh, sure. Love those.
All right. So I love the blue-green combos. I'm not sure the name of them. I'm sure Diana will pipe in and tell me.
Yes.
But this is a great combo.
The blue is Amico's Indigo Float.
Indigo float.
And then the green is Amico's Lustrous Jade. And I did that combo on the white clay before. This time it's on the Sheltoe. And it's a combo that works for both. There's a slight difference in color. I feel like there's a little bit more richness, a little bit more calmer colors on the white, but on the brown, the blue really stands out very well.
Very, very nice.
And while you've got
this was one of the bowls that I had made with a rim. So when I trimmed this out, I trimmed it with the
yeah, I've noticed you've been doing that quite a bit lately. There's another bowl here that had a really nice rim. This one is also that Amico's Indigo Float, just with a little bit of light flux around the rim.
You want to talk about the stroke and
sure.
coat stuff? All right, so now these combos, and it's 3 pieces, and all 3 of them are done on brown clay.
Yeah.
So you used light flux, is that right?
No.
Not honey flux.
Honey flux, yes. There were 3 coats of honey flux on the inside and outside both. The reason that it appears so dark here is as it was breaking over the rim, the darkness of the clay body shows, and I like that about the honey flux on a dark clay. But I did 3 bands. I did 1 band of Grapple,
That's one of my favorite.
1
purples.
band of the Blues, and 1 band of Green Thumb.
And those are stroke and coats.
Yes, those are stroke and coats from
and
Mako.
if you'll remember from way back when, honey flux gives us a blue tint on our brown clay. It does not do that on the white clay, but when we put it on the brown clay, we get a nice blue tint. So we have that same combo on a largish bowl.
That's a nice bowl. I like
It's a
that
good
bowl.
sized bowl.
And that bowl size seems to be a popular one at the market for us.
Yep, very good. And then we also have it on a cup.
Yeah, cute cup.
It's a nice little cup.
I love the little. You can actually feel and see where the glaze changes to the clay.
And here's a surprise for you guys.
Here's another blue.
This one's a surprise. So believe it or not, guys, this blue at the top is fuzzy peach.
Yes.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, bullpucky, that is not fuzzy peach. That is fuzzy peach at the top. Now, this is Diana's Sunrise kind of combo. What glazes? I know it's Bougainvillea is one of them.
Yes, Bougainvillea is at the bottom.
At the bottom, we hold it down.
Sunrise is next, and then Fuzzy Peach.
Bougainvillea, Sunrise, and Fuzzy Peach, and there ain't no way that looks like peach on brown clay. Now,
but it is beautiful, and it still looks like a morning sunrise.
Yep, and it's a fantastic bowl. I love throwing these bowls. That's nice. And then we have the same combo on a mug, and that's a pretty substantial mug. That's not a small mug. Nice mug.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Alrighty, I'm going to pull out another combo that we did. And this is a very nice combo. We have just recently discovered, I guess, the joy of Power Turquoise.
Power Turquoise. They don't sell it by 50-gallon drums, but I wish they did.
It's such a vivid color. Here's an example of one of your rims again, and I loved it so much that I stopped right at that rim and left everything else bare clay.
Right, and it looks shiny here. There's no glaze on that at all. Any glaze that is here is overspray from the glaze that surrounded it. Like if the glaze, if it's close enough to another glaze piece, then the glaze kind of aerosols, and we get a little bit of a shine just from the pieces that were beside it. But there's no glaze applied to the outside of this bowl at all.
Yes.
And we love showing off that raw clay. We
Yes.
love that.
Alrighty, and of course this is sandstone in the bottom, 2 coats. After the sandstone, I did Power Turquoise, and then I do a band of light flux where the 2 meet. and join, overlapping each one. And then up on the rim, you'll notice a little bit of variation up on the rim, and it's starting to move. And that is Celadon Bloom by Mako.
Very nice.
And I just thought that really added to it. So I did it on that piece. I didn't do it on these other pieces.
Right, and you want to show the mug next?
Sure. Here's our mug.
Now, this is another one of my wheel thrown
Yes.
mugs on Sheltoe Brown, and this is also one of our disappointments.
Yes.
Because as beautiful as it is,
I
there's
don't know.
another flaw.
Look.
Another flaw up there at
Yes.
the handle. And I'm going to chalk these up as being my fault. I think I was drying these too fast, and I burnished over a crack and didn't notice that it was a crack, or maybe I was trying to fill in the crack with dry clay, and that's just enough of a flaw for us to not put it on the table. And it's a shame because it's an absolutely beautiful mug. It's a great mug, but that one's not going to the table.
No, but the bowl will, and so will the plate. And a lot of times when folks see this combo, they're like, oh, this just reminds me of the beach. And so it does seem to be a popular combo for us at the market.
But she's not going to make it.
Not making it.
All right, so let's pull up something else interesting.
Alrighty, well,
Here's one
this
that
is
is
the
gonna make it.
only one we have of this one. This is, both glazes are Mako. This one is Birch, and we actually have this in a dipping glaze. So what I do in the beginning is I pour in Birch and then dump it out. I paint on black timber, 2 coats, and then I take it back to my glaze bucket and I dip it into the glaze bucket to where it just overlaps that black timber.
And we get a nice blue line
Yes.
there from that.
Yes, that overlap does make a nice line. And then I take it back again and I dip the handle. So
Very, very nice.
I like that combo.
And this one is also a nice, substantial sized mug. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Good.
It's very nice.
Yep.
Alrighty, you want to grab? Yeah, that sounds good. Alrighty, these are both the same glazes. This is
just a small piece. I'll put that off to the side.
Yep. This is Amico's Saguaro, one of their Celadon glazes. And you'll notice I've got all this white coming off the back of it. I haven't wiped it with a sponge yet. We had Kiln shelf paper underneath of it because where it is such a large piece,
And we're going to have to turn it sideways when we put it down like this.
Yes, I was hoping it wouldn't crack.
That's the size of one of Christopher's feet.
No, I don't think so. But it's a nice little charcuterie board or a cheese board. It would look very nice on a table. And the thing that I did do with the doily imprints is I wiped back some of the saguaro and then dry brushed on a bit of Amico snow.
That turned out really, really good.
So.
And this is one of the thickest pieces that we've ever put of hand-built stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a good,
It's a half inch.
nearly a half an inch.
Yeah.
3/8 of an inch or whatever.
Yeah.
It's nearly half an inch thick. And of course, it was thicker when we made it, but I love it. There's no warping on this at all.
No.
And we'll have the edges all sanded off, and of course the kiln wash will wash right off. But that's going to be a fantastic showpiece.
It's a very nice one. I like
on our
that a
table.
lot.
Yep. It's gonna look
Alrighty.
great.
How about you grab that strawberry plate?
Strawberry plate.
And I'll get the blueberry.
Okay, so here's a strawberry plate, and we do this again. This is on the Iceman clay, and Diana has a blueberry plate.
Yes, so here comes the blueberry plate. You guys have seen the blueberry plate before. And I do these in the same method. For this one, I used Amico's Snapdragon, and for this one, I used Amico's Deep Sea. Again, I cover the whole interior surface with it, let it dry, then take a wet sponge and wipe it off until I am back to just bare clay. And then I go ahead and I do the outside 3 coats in the color, and then I take the Mako's zinc-free clear and go over the center 2 coats.
Nice, very, very
So,
nice. Very
I think they're really cute.
summery plates.
Yes.
Love those. Good. What now?
Let's grab our mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Let me put these away without clanking them too much.
Yes. It's a good thing that pottery is really
Sturdy.
sturdier than what we think
Yep.
sometimes.
Yep.
Because we do a lot of clanking around. So, okay.
I'm going to start because I know what this one is.
Oh, okay.
Blue hydrangea.
It is. And all of the stems on the mushrooms are done with the birch. And so are the gills underneath. And if you'll notice, I did carve all of the gills.
Very, very nice.
And they're not sharp.
It's
pretty. Aren't you proud of me?
You did a good job with them. You
I
did good.
smoothed my gills. Look, I hope you can see the gills on this one. The gills on this one turned out so great because this one is one of the ones
Inverted,
that is
right?
inverted. Yes. And so on this one, it is Mako's amaryllis. And that is gorgeous. 2 coats.
Very nice.
Okay.
And then I'll let you go ahead with that.
Alrighty. This little guy, he's so cute. But I have sandstone on him, 2 coats. He's adorable.
And I remember that one, so you
Oh, that is cenote.
Oh, I knew it was cenote.
Cenote. And then this one, I want to make sure people can see this one. This is Celadon Bloom by Mako, but look at that giant
I love
bloom.
that crystal on top was awesome.
It really was.
And then the cenote, we've used it before. I love
Yes,
looking at it.
yes.
If it were a little more green, it would look like mint chocolate chip.
I know, it's so cute. But there we are, a little colony of mushrooms.
Yep, very nice.
So very cute. I love
Turn
them.
them on side like this.
Yes, and I did do these. I did sculpt these from actual mushrooms, but I've forgotten the names of them. So I guess I should write that down next time.
Some kind of fungus is my
Yes.
thought. All right.
Alrighty, you want to grab that pair there?
Sure. This is a joy and some distress here also. All right, so this is kind of an artsy look. I love the painterly effect. Look at that word, painterly.
Yes.
I love the painterly effect of this. Please tell us what glazes you use in this.
This is what happens when it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm just tired and I start throwing everything at something. I happen to have the new Mako box out, and so we have the aqua gloss, sage gloss. I had light flux. There is power turquoise in it. There is ancient jasper in it.
I love the effect of that going across there. That
Yeah.
looks so cool.
So I was having fun with that, and on the inside of them, it's the sage gloss.
Very nice. And this is just like a little wine cup kind of a thing. No handle on this, just a wine cup.
Yeah, that's
and,
a nice one.
And then we have the same thing on one of my cooler mugs that I made. So it's wide at the bottom and wide at the top, kind of hourglass shape. And again on the Sheltowy brown clay. I love it, except we've got another problem with the handle.
Where's that one at? Oh,
Right
yes. Look
there.
at that.
So it looks like that one is also another issue. And in case you guys are wondering what we're doing with all these things that have problems, well, the first thing and most important thing is we're going to change up how we do things. This is because we can't have this many losses with our mugs.
No,
we're
and
going to
we
have
weren't-
to change things.
We weren't having losses.
It's my fault. I was in a hurry. I was rushing
And
through.
yeah, we've got to remember slower is faster.
That's right. And on my motorcycle, the saying is that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So the idea is that if we take our time and do well, we'll save time by doing that.
Yeah.
And now the second part of what we're going to do with this is we're probably not going to try to fix this. I believe fixing this would entail more time and effort than just making a whole new cup.
Right.
So rather than try to fix it, we're going to sell our defects at half price, and we're going to put it on our pity pottery table.
Right. And,
on
you know,
Wednesdays.
it would make a nice vessel to hold pens or pencils.
And let's be honest,
Flowers.
it is still perfectly food safe.
It is.
There's nothing wrong with the
It's
interior.
on the handle.
But that little flaw is enough for us to say,
Yes.
nope, we're not
No.
going to expect somebody to pay full price for that. Not at all. So, but anyway, it's a very, very pretty, striking effect. I love that. Now, you got to talk about that wonderful gold yellow you got there.
Sure thing. So here I have 2 pieces. This is a candle holder. It's a daffodil, and that is nothing but Amico's Marigold.
Like that's the
And
only glaze on that?
That's the only glaze on
nice.
that.
I love it.
And I did 2 coats of that. I did not do 3. I find that marigold, and especially with all of the texture on the flower
Mm-hmm.
petals, you don't get streakiness with marigold. And so I only did 2 coats of it
Very nice.
on the little trinket dish, but I did add the light flux, and I absolutely love how it feathered. It really, really turned out great. It looks like the little down feathers of a bird to me. So I love that.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
You got those?
I got that.
All right, so this is another one of Diana's olive dishes, and it's again on our Iceman clay. I don't know the name of this glaze. Diana, what is that?
That is Amico's Lagoon.
Lagoon. Very, very pretty.
Lagoon.
And then here's one of our fish dishes. And this is that, I believe it's cenote?
It is.
Norse blue?
Yep, it
oh
sure
my
is.
goodness. Somebody write that down. I got them both
Yes, and the thing to remember with that is cenote is Norse blue, but with the crystals.
With the speckles. So it's the same color, but the crystals give it those specks.
So
in the cenote.
I like to do the face of the fish plain and then the speckles for the body.
Well, I love it. Fantastic. Very, very good.
I'm going to pull these pieces out and just set them down. It's some ornaments and some trinket dishes coming.
Yeah,
And
we don't have a whole lot left. I got to show the little owl.
yes, most of the time I do the owls with the standard 112, but this owl is on the Iceman, and I simply dunked him in my bucket of birch.
Dunked the owl.
And then did obsidian for his eyes.
Obsidian. Nice, nice.
Yes, so he's kind of cute. Alrighty, so we'll talk about the trinkets. Again, I have eggplant. Now this time I have eggplant all over because I wanted that purple under the blue hydrangea to show. And so it was simply 2 coats of eggplant and then 1 coat of blue hydrangea.
And each one of these spots that you see started out as a crystal, almost like aquarium gravel, in the glaze. And in the kiln, the rocks melt out and bloom into these really fantastic shapes.
Yes.
Nice.
And I'll talk about these guys next.
Similar thing here.
Yes, well let's hold them, side by side like this, because this is the aqua gloss, and I did it over the entire body 2 times. And then this fish has only 1 coat of the Celadon bloom, whereas this fish has 2 coats. So you can see the difference in the amount of crystals that you get. So
very nice.
both very cute.
Yep. Nice.
Alrighty. Here's another Celadon bloom. I love that glaze. And this time I have just the light flux around it. Okay. Here's one that was similar to the Power Turquoise one.
That's Blue Surf.
No.
Indigo Float?
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, this is the one I have to order today because I'm out of the sample, and that is the tropical teal.
Right,
I love the tropical teal. It's 2 coats of tropical teal, 2 coats of sandstone, and light flux over them where they meet.
Nice little dish, and you've got a triangle dish down there too.
I
Very
do.
striking colors on that guy.
I do. I love those colors. That's the Power Turquoise and the eggplant, and then just a band of light flux.
Do you want to talk about the little ornaments we have?
Oh, that
real
sounds
quick?
good. Yes.
Real
Yes.
quick.
These ornaments were all of the seahorse ones are my seahorse drawing that we made a texture stamp of and a cutter for. And so we sell these for $5 at the market.
And we were out of them.
Yes, we were totally out of them. So I've got a few more now to take. This one, of course, is the Celadon bloom. This one is the Lagoon. Here's one we haven't talked about on the table, and it's on both of these. This is the Amico's Textured Turquoise. I hadn't used that one in a while, so I was like, oh, I better put some of those. And then we have the Mulberry. I love the Celadons because they show off texture so well. And when you're making something to sell for only $5, you don't want to have to do a whole lot to the piece. And then this one is Rainforest.
Nice. And one more fish.
One more fish, and yes, I do a little bit more to these. But this is Mako's Coral and Mako's Amaryllis. And of course, coral is the base for amaryllis.
And I believe this is the last piece that we have to show on the table. I think, look it
Yeah,
over.
I
This is
don't
the last
see
piece.
anything else.
And it's a toast plate. We had made some of these last year, and they were a huge hit. And for whatever reason, we just hadn't made them yet this year.
Yes.
Now, this is on Diana's favorite white Iceman clay from Kentucky Mudworks. And she uses stroke and coat. Is this vanilla dip?
It is. This is vanilla dip. I have 3 coats of vanilla dip. And then this is Amico's Deep Sienna Speckle, just 2 coats around the rim, so it looks like crusty bread.
And I did have a couple people tell me I need to get working on my Pop-Tart plates. They'll look a lot like this, but they'll be rectangular Pop-Tart size. All right, and that's all we have for this. We are going to show you some pictures of these in the sunlight so you can get a better look at the combos all together.
Yeah, but if you would please like the video and subscribe. Remember, we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers.
We're getting close.
I think we're at 853.
Something like that.
So maybe you could be 854.
That would
We
be
would
awesome.
appreciate it.
Yep.
I
But I
think
guess
that's
we're ready to sign it out. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching Toodaloo TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Take care. See you later. Have a fantastic day no matter where you're at. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.